Virtual Reality Escape. The year is 2150. Society has embraced virtual reality, VR, to escape the harsh realities of a deteriorating Earth. People spend their lives in personalized utopias, oblivious to the world outside. Skyscrapers, once bustling centers of activity, now stand as giant VR hubs, hosting millions in their digital worlds. Ava, a young woman in her 20s, who has spent her entire life in a VR world of eternal summer and happiness, lived in her perfect digital world, a paradise crafted to her every whim. Here, she was free from want, free from pain, free from the imperfections of reality. Every day was a seamless blend of joy and fulfillment, every moment tailored to her desires. One day, as she wandered through a field of golden sunflowers under an eternally blue sky, her VR interface glitched. For a fleeting moment, she saw a different world, a glimpse of the real Earth, lush and vibrant. It was a stark contrast to the bleak, polluted world she had been taught about. Confused and curious, Ava sought out Dr. Marcus, the caretaker of her VR world. "What was that I saw?" she asked, describing the brief vision of the real Earth. Dr. Marcus, a weary man who had spent years maintaining the illusion of perfection, sighed. "The world outside, it's not what we believed. After humanity retreated into virtual spaces, Earth began to heal. It's become a paradise, but a paradise we turned our backs on." Ava's mind reeled at the revelation. Her perfect world suddenly felt constricting, artificial. She needed to see the real Earth for herself. Dr. Marcus, seeing the determination in her eyes, reluctantly modified her VR equipment, allowing her to switch between the virtual and real worlds. "Be careful," he warned. "The truth can be overwhelming." Ava stepped out of the VR hub for the first time, emerging into a world that was alive in a way she had never known. She walked through lush forests, felt the real sun on her skin, and breathed air fresher than any digital simulation. As she explored this reborn Earth, Ava realized how much she had missed, how much humanity had lost in its escape to digital utopias. She knew she had to show others the truth, to bring them back to the real world. As Ava explored the rejuvenated Earth, she marveled at its beauty and diversity. Everywhere she looked, she saw signs of nature thriving in the absence of human interference. The experience was a revelation, filling her with a sense of wonder and a deep longing for reality that she had never known existed. Determined to share her discovery, Ava returned to the VR hub to confront Dr. Marcus. "We can't keep living a lie," she implored. "People need to see the real world, to experience its beauty for themselves." Dr. Marcus, burdened by years of facilitating the illusion, was initially hesitant. "Ava, you don't understand the chaos it could cause. People have forgotten how to live in the real world." But Ava was resolute. She argued that the virtual escape was no longer necessary, that the Earth had healed and was waiting for its people to return. After much debate, Dr. Marcus agreed to help, moved by Ava's passion and conviction. Together, they developed a plan. Ava would start by introducing her closest VR friends to the real world, helping them adjust to the reality outside their digital utopias. It was a challenging process. Many were initially resistant, disoriented by the sensory richness of the real world. Gradually, however, they began to embrace the beauty and complexity of Earth. They experienced the joy of genuine human connections, the thrill of unmediated experiences, and the fulfillment that came from engaging with the natural world. Word of Ava's discovery spread, sparking curiosity and debate among the VR community. More and more people sought to experience the real world, and each returnee became an ambassador, sharing their experiences and encouraging others to take the leap. But as the movement grew, it caught the attention of the VR authorities. They saw the exodus to reality as a threat to their control and sought to suppress the truth about the real Earth. Ava and her allies faced opposition and propaganda from the VR authorities, who warned of the dangers and unpredictability of the real world. Despite these challenges, they persisted, driven by the belief that truth and reality were worth fighting for. The story of Ava and her journey between two worlds became a beacon of hope and change, inspiring a growing number of people to question their virtual existence and seek the truth for themselves. Ava's movement continued to gain momentum, drawing more people out of their virtual realms and into the real world. Each person's return added to a growing community dedicated to rediscovering and nurturing the once-forgotten Earth. However, the VR authorities intensified their efforts to quell the awakening. They implemented restrictions on VR exit points and propagated narratives emphasizing the dangers and discomforts of the real world. Their campaign sowed doubt and fear, slowing the exodus. Undeterred, Ava and her group devised a plan to counteract the authorities' propaganda. They began broadcasting images and videos of the real Earth into the VR networks, showcasing its beauty, the joy of tangible experiences, and the thriving ecosystems. One of their most impactful acts was creating a shared virtual space that simulated the real Earth, giving users a taste of reality within the VR environment. This experience bridged the gap for many, helping them overcome their fear and curiosity about the world outside. The tide began to turn as more VR users were swayed by the undeniable allure of the real world. Communities organized VR unplugging events, and groups of people emerged together, ready to embrace reality and its possibilities. Dr. Marcus, witnessing the transformation he had once feared, became an advocate for Ava's cause. He worked from within the system to ease the transition, providing guidance and support to those stepping out of virtuality. As the movement grew, the structure of society began to shift. Cities, once mere shells for VR hubs, started to teem with life again. Parks were revitalized, community centers reopened, and a new era of human connection and environmental stewardship dawned. Ava, now a leader and symbol of the awakening, continued to inspire and guide. She organized projects to rebuild and rejuvenate the urban landscapes, intertwining nature and humanity in a harmonious balance. Years later, with Ava standing atop a hill overlooking a transformed city. Children play in green spaces where VR hubs once stood, people gather in community events, and the air is filled with the sounds of life. Ava reflects on her journey, the resistance she faced, and the triumph of reality over illusion. She realized that her greatest discovery wasn't just the Earth's revival, it was the resilience and adaptability of humanity. The real world, with all its imperfections and challenges, was more fulfilling and beautiful than any digital utopia could ever be. In the end, the virtual reality escape, once a refuge from a dying world, had become a closed chapter in human history. A new chapter had begun, written with the ink of reality and the voices of a reawakened humanity.